How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to be speaking about Arsenal. We're going to be speaking about the statement that was released on the club's website. We're also going to be speaking about Alexandre Lacazette and the possibility of Arsenal selling him in the summer. And we're also going to be speaking about the Premier League, because a group of Premier League teams have got together and have made it pretty clear that they want the season to finish by the end of June.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start is Arsenal and the statement that was released yesterday on their website. And you know that I've been talking about the last couple of days, the wages and everything else. And I said that I wasn't really going to say too much until anything official has come out. There's still nothing concrete in terms of, wage cuts or anything like that. But Arsenal have made a very, very long statement, which go into detail about a variety of different, aspects and whatnot. And there's some good bits in there as well, and some surprising bits, that's for sure. Everyone at Arsenal would like to send their heartfelt thanks to health professionals and key workers worldwide who are working tirelessly to keep us safe and support us. While the health and well-being of everyone is our primary concern at this time, we are of course fully focused on protecting our great football club and people from this crisis. Every industry and organisation, including football and Arsenal, are directly impacted by the coronavirus. Some of our staff have had the virus, families and friends have fallen ill, and this is all underpinned by a feeling of uncertainty around exactly what will happen next. Now, in terms of the challenge for Arsenal, the suspension of football and the broader global economic impact of the virus means that many of our revenue streams are on hold or at risk. We have always aimed to operate on a basis that the money we earn is reinvested in the team, the wider club, and invested into our community. The potential impact on our revenue streams puts this operating model under pressure. We know that the crisis will pass and normality will resume, but timeframes cannot be known with any certainty. The potential financial impact is significant, so we must be responsible and act now to best protect Arsenal from what might happen in the months ahead. What is clear is that this is one of our most challenging periods in our near 134-year history. Now, in terms of what they are doing, our owners, Kroenke and Sports and Entertainment, are fully committed to supporting Arsenal through this challenging time. We are also carefully controlling our costs. We have stopped most capital spend, and our discretionary operation expenditure is being strictly controlled. Earlier this month, our executive team volunteered to waive more than a third of their earnings over the next 12 months. We are hugely grateful for the support of our people. The togetherness and resolve knows no bounds, even though very many of them face the challenges of having no work to do whilst the season is suspended. We are fortunate to be able to count on their commitment and cooperation at this time. We are in ongoing contact with our employees through video conferences, newsletters and team meetings, etc. We have made it clear to them that we are not considering redundancies, and we are fully focused on protecting their well-being, jobs and salaries. All our employees are receiving their full salaries, and we plan to continue this. We are not currently intending to use the government's furlough scheme. In addition to our employees, we are extending our commitment to pay casual workers on our payroll from the end of April to the end of May. For our matchday casual workers, this means they will be paid for all 4 Premier League games that would have been postponed, and will be paid again should they work at these games once rearranged. So that part there as well, that is really good that Arsenal have confirmed that they're not going to be taking up the government's furlough scheme. We've seen the uproar and everything else involving Liverpool, Spurs, etc. They're going to be paying all their staff, full-time, casual workers, everything else. That is absolutely superb news. Now, in terms of the players, Our players have been keeping very busy during this difficult period, working hard at home on both their fitness and tactical work whilst training is suspended. Over the past 10 days, we have been in discussions with them around the potential financial challenges ahead and how we are planning for those now. These are productive and ongoing conversations around how our players might support their club in an appropriate way. We have not and will not make any comment on this matter until the private discussions have concluded. Now, I'll get onto that in a moment and my thoughts and whatnot, but they go on to the fans. We know our millions of fans around the world are missing the game as much as we are. We will return to action in due course, and that will be a memorable day. However, we know many of you are directly impacted in terms of health and financial uncertainty. We are receiving many questions about the conclusion of this season and the start of next. In relation to the current season, tickets held for postponed matches will be valid once these matches are rearranged. Along with the Premier League, we are fully committed to concluding the season as soon as it is safe to do so. If any matches are rearranged with no fans in the stadium, or if any matches are cancelled entirely, those that have bought tickets for these games, whether as part of a season ticket or an individual match, will be offered a credit for next season or a refund. Further details will be shared at the appropriate time. And of course, they go on to speak about what they're doing within the community. And I think a lot of us have seen the images and whatnot that are going on within the community at the moment and what they're supplying, around the Islington area. They're assisting the NHS or helping those as far afield as Jordan and Indonesia via the Arsenal Foundation. So a very wide-ranging statement from the club. And there's no hearsay in any of this. This is official. This is on the club's website. So you've got to take it as you see it. First thing that I want to touch on is the part about the members of the board that are taking a salary cut. And I'll tell you something, I was a little shocked by that, but fair play. Because that's all the directors, everybody that's involved from the top and everything else. And they're going to be taking their cut, and what that will do, of course, is add the pressure to the players. So I don't know whether that's a little something that they brought out now to try and ramp up a little bit of the pressure and whatnot, but the ball's very much in their court. Now, if you're looking at the situation with the players, everything we've been speaking about the last few days, again, there's nothing concrete. It's very clear the club are in talks with the players. It's been going on for around about 10 days, but the club will not release any information until it is necessary. So you've got to take what's been in the reports and news in recent days as being a load of rubbish, to be quite honest with you, because none of us know. The club are not releasing anything. They're not telling us. Whether it's going to be 12.5%, 7.5%, they've got to qualify or whatever it is, we're going to find out in due course. So at the moment, nobody knows. And Arsenal have made that very, very clear. But like I said, maybe the fact that the directors have, stepped forward to take a wage cut as well, could well, put a bit of pressure on the players, especially now it's in the public domain. And we also know that it's, official. It's not hearsay, and it's not just a newspaper trying to get clicks and likes. So very, very interesting report, and I'll be interested to see in the next few days whether this, meeting with the players and whatnot can be concluded and we can find out what is exactly happening. Sticking with Arsenal, and apparently Arsenal are prepared to sell Alexandre Lacazette this summer, with Atletico Madrid reportedly poised to reignite their interest in the Frenchman as they look to replace Diego Costa. The former Lyon striker Lacazette enjoyed 2 promising seasons at the Emirates when he first arrived, scoring 36 goals in all competition across his first 2 years, and was particularly prolific at the start of 2019. However, he has not come close to his goal haul back in France, netting 37 times in his final campaign with Lyon, and has struggled this season. Lacazette has been in and out of the side for a mixture of injury and tactical decisions, competing with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to play through the middle, and has netted just 7 times in the Premier League. According to Spanish newspaper AS, Atletico have been alerted to Lacazette's interest in testing himself in Madrid and believe Arsenal would put up little resistance. The Frenchman, one of the club's highest earners, only has 2 years to run on his current contract with the Gunners, and they would be prepared to cash in now rather than risk him entering the final year of his deal when he can leave for nothing. More importantly, the paper claims that Mikel Arteta is no great fan of Lacazette and is willing to let him leave if a significant offer is made. So very interesting, and I can actually see Lacazette leaving more than I can see Aubameyang leaving. And the reason why is because obviously he has 2 years left on his contract. It's obvious that Diego Simeone likes him, and yeah, we'll just have to sit tight and wait and see. But that's a transfer that I can see possibly happening. I don't know how much I take into that part of the report though, that, you know, Mikel Arteta doesn't rate him. I just believe that papers add this kind of stuff in there, and you know, where did they get the information from? Did they phone Mikel up themselves and say, you know, what do you think of Lacazette? Yeah, I don't really rate him, mate. Come on now. So yeah, we go into the last piece of news. It involves the Premier League, and this was news that was breaking yesterday, later on in the evening. And apparently Premier League clubs have joined forces together to call for the season to be finished by June the 30th. It is understood that at least 9 clubs have had serious discussions amongst themselves and will come together to present their case at the next League Summit, which is on Friday. They want the campaign curtailed if they cannot squeeze in the remaining games. Most clubs have 9 left, while 4 teams have 10, rather than risk the huge uncertainty and utter chaos of allowing it to drag on for more months beyond the summer. Their proposal is to find a formula to finish the season, as they know voiding the campaign is off the table at the moment, and this way it would allow Liverpool to be crowned champions and still settle the Champions League and relegation places. The concerns surround the uncertainty of player contracts expiring on June the 30th, with many clubs also facing the end of big commercial sponsorship deals on that date. They go on to say that clubs do not want to be seen as making demands, but insist it is time for a serious debate to start to allow them to plan for some degree of certainty for next season, and this way could allow football to kick off again in August or September. Premier League bosses have made it very clear they want to play out the rest of the season, and while they have draft plans to restart the games behind closed doors in June time, there is a fear it will just get pushed back further and further as the chaos continues. Clubs are currently in limbo, cannot make any plans, and they could all stand to lose up to 750 million's worth of TV revenue and still have no idea when football will start. So very interesting, and I feel we are now getting to that point where you're going to have to start making some decisions. That little bit of, you know, grace period where you just kind of everyone agreeing and whatnot has kind of been and gone now. We've gone, what, near enough 6 weeks or so with no football. Clubs are starting to lose out on a lot of revenue. They're starting to struggle. Even the big clubs. And they're looking at it now and they're saying, we need some kind of clarity. We need to know one way or another what is going on. We need to know so we can plan for next season. We need to know, you know, about players that could possibly be leaving. Are they staying? Contracts? There's so many things. And we've touched on this show so many times. But I feel that that would be the best way forward. I think that Friday's meeting could be very significant. And I feel that there could be, you know, some big things happening in there, and we could get a little bit more clarity as to where we are going. And that, you know, end of window around June the 30th time, I think that if we're not going to finish the season by then, there's no alternative but to void it, to be quite honest with you. Players out of contract and everything else, void the season, start again, let everybody move on and start afresh. And, you know, it makes things a lot easier, that's for sure. Despite, you know, the implications that voiding this season will bring. No titles, relegations and whatnot, and they will still have to sort out European places. So very, very interesting. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. Let me know in the comments section what you think. Let me know about the topics and what your opinion is. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I'll see you lot soon. I'm out of here.